Hello everyone. In today's video, I'm just going to talk about this particular post that I found on one of the Telegram channels, and I find it quite interesting. And also I'm going to talk about the upcoming ETF decision by the SEC, and also on how you can actually take advantage of this decision that's coming up, on how we can make some money. So let's go ahead and get started. So let's talk about this post here. This is a post on Reddit by an anonymous user back on January 21st of this year. Okay, so this is what he said. He said the bottom was December of 2018. He said just look at the chart. We're in a bull market. We're currently we've been in the bull market for the last 3 months, and it's been 3 months been the accumulation stage, and it said we'll slowly rise, and then boom, screen cap this. So look at this. By the way, he's been correct for his prediction for April and July. I also take a look at the chart with you on Bitcoin. So he said, now he posted this in January. Okay, so in January, Bitcoin price was, let's take a look here, so around 4,000. Okay, so he posted in January around 4,000, and then he said in April Bitcoin is going to be at around 5,300. So this is April. We're right there. We're right around his prediction. Okay, and let's take a look at the next one. July, he said 9,200 in July. So this is June, and then boom, that's June. Let's take a look. So this is okay. So July, he was, his prediction was, actually underestimated, but towards the end of July, it was around his initial prediction of 9,200. So now we're in October, and he predicts 16,000. Now, some people may say this is a coincidence that he's been this correct, but you never know. So let's take a look at why this prediction may actually be right for this month of October. So as you guys know, Bitwise submitted an ETF, and the SEC is going to come up with a decision very soon. Now, as you guys may know, there have been tons of ETF rejections by the SEC. So this is an article here that states that 9 were denied. I'm sure there's probably more than that, but plenty have been denied, and this particular one may be a little different. So let me share with you this particular video that was on CNBC, and regarding this particular ETF. Now, the deadline for this one is October 13th. So this is this upcoming Monday. Now, I want to say this as far as the price of Bitcoin in relation to the decision by the SEC. That is, as far as price movements, it's not a big. It doesn't have a big impact on the price of Bitcoin. All these denials previously may have had maybe 1 to 5% move on Bitcoin, some none at all. So now, could it finally get approved, and it could get it to this price of this person's prediction back, this person predicted back in January of this year. So let's take a look at what just want to share this quick clip of this video with you. Okay, so take a look.
Bitcoin ETFs, we still get emails, folks. I can't tell you. It's yet another deadline. Go ahead, laugh, Matt. That's why we have you here. It's another deadline for a long-delayed Bitcoin ETF. After turning down application after application, the SEC is expected to issue a ruling by next Monday on one of the last Bitcoin ETFs that's still outstanding. This one from Bitwise Investments. Fortunately, we have an update from Bitwise's Matt Hogan. Matt, it's hard to describe what a long and winding road this is. Are we any closer? You've spent a lot of time at the SEC explaining your model. Are they any more receptive to the idea than they were a year and a half ago when they basically shut the whole thing down?
Oh, absolutely, Bob. You got to think about everything that's changed in the Bitcoin market over the last 2 years. 2 years ago, there were no regulated insured custodians in the Bitcoin market. Today, there are almost 10. They're big names like Fidelity and Coinbase. They have hundreds of millions of dollars of insurance from firms like Lloyd's of London. 2 years ago, there were no regulated crypto exchanges. Now, 6 of the 10 big crypto exchanges are regulated by the New York Department of State with market surveillance technologies in place. And most importantly, 2 years ago, it was a one-sided, inefficient market. Today, we have $200+ million in volume in regulated futures every day. Jane Street and Susquehanna and other big market makers are in the market. The market is trading at penny-wide spreads. It's among the most efficient institutional markets in the world. So not just the work that Bitwise did. Yes, we submitted a lot of research to the SEC and met with them multiple times. But just the evolution of the Bitcoin market over the last 2 years is from night to day. And that's why I think we're closer than we've ever been before to getting a Bitcoin ETF approved.
Now, about, was it January of last year, the ETF basically submitted what I call the 1,000 question memorandum, where they issued a long list of questions to everybody out there applying for a Bitcoin ETF. You've got to answer all the questions. And they went on and on. It was rather remarkable. But it fell into 2 buckets. One was, we have problems with these exchanges. Most of them are overseas and unregulated, and we have no control over them. One problem. Second problem is...
That's still a big problem. Okay, you have a lot of these exchanges who, that there's a lot of pump and dumps that goes on, wash trading, spoofing, you can name it. It's an unregulated market. And obviously, the SEC wants to so-called, protect U.S. investors. So I know the space has quite changed a lot, like, this guy was saying, but who knows? This could be the first one to get approved. In my honest opinion, just an opinion, I think it's going to get denied. We're still not ready for it yet. But obviously, this guy's very optimistic towards it because, he's on TV. He's a salesman. He got to show enthusiasm to, the SEC to hopefully, approve this. He had some good points. But I think it's going to get denied again. All right. So, but at any rate, that's I wanted to share this with you. And as far as taking advantage of this particular decision that's coming up, now I hope it gets approved, because if this gets approved, this will be the first ever SEC ETF approval. Therefore, everyone is it's gonna be a FOMO, fear of missing out. Everyone's gonna be buying into Bitcoin, and we could potentially see this price here of 16,000 from this person. So, and the best place to do that at, it's right here, Bybit. Okay, you could leverage trade Bitcoin. You can go long or short. Now, if you think it's gonna get denied, like I said, price hasn't quite had any big impact on the denial, but let's see. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. So if you enjoyed the content, just like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you next time.